All right, guys. Kenny Smith, Total Force Holdings. We're going to get back into radio a little bit. Now, there are two ways to go about radio. Three, really, when you think about it. Three things to think about with radio. Number one, FCC licensed ham. This is going to be the most versatile. You could do things with ham that you can't do with other systems. Now, you do need to get a license to get the full use of it. It's not expensive. It's not a complicated process. But without it, the FCC hands out some pretty hefty fines. There are some sneaky tricks, but this probably ain't the time or place. The FCC licensed ham, you can do a lot of things with it. Now you've got license-free radios that come into play. First one everybody thinks about, usually cheapest to get into, is going to be CB. All right, you can set up CB, you're good to go. All right, you can put CBs in your vehicles. You can put that. Hell, that was like a rite of fucking passage when I was younger. Is putting a CB in your truck. Um, but hell, I had a handheld CB in my car, my first car. Um, but yeah, you can have handheld or mobile. You can set up base stations inside the house if you want to, or in a building. CB is great. Uh, there are some legalities involved with CB. To get the most range out of a CB, you got to start doing some modification. The FCC frowns upon that. So if you want to go that route, go for it. Not advised, but you can. All right, it's entirely physically possible, just not recommended. Other license-free radios that I'm partial to are MERS. I think it's like multi-use radio system or something like that. Anyway, it's license-free. It's a VHF frequency, about 150 megahertz. Not the most clear reception in the world, but quite good range. Works fairly well in built-up areas. Works just as good in the woods. So I'm kind of partial to MERS. The next one, you have to have a license for GMRS, which a lot of your blister pack like walkie talkies will hit now. You do need a license to use GMRS fully, bouncing off repeaters and stuff like that. Um, then there's FRS, the Family Radio Service. This is like your blister pack Motorola's, the old 14 channel ones, stuff like that. These are a UHF system, typically around 450 megahertz, so they're a little bit clearer than the VHF stuff like MERS, but the range is considerably limited, right? Like you look at a box of walkie-talkies, like let's say you get some Motorola's or some Midlands, and you look at them, it's like, 38-mile range. Well, that's 38 miles between two fucking mountains. All right, when you're down in the dirty, it's like a mile tops. Matter of fact, the old Motorola FR50s, which I had a set of when I was younger. One of my buddies lived right at, it's like almost a mile on the dot from me. If he was outside on his porch, we could talk to each other by radio. If he went in the house, not so much. We'll continue with part two of radios tomorrow, part 7 of the series. Link tree with all my Patreon and all that up top and below. Y'all stay safe. Have a good one.